Hello and welcome Excels to another video. Today I attempted the One Divine challenge. So I wanted to prove myself how good am I in Path of Exile 2 and how good am I in build making. So I attempted it and it was a completely success. You saw it in the intro. I was able to do the tier 1 breach boss and I was able to do a tier 18 map with a boss on it. So you can actually progress with this through your atlas and actually do small bossing and continue through the game without any hesitation. So without further ado, I'm gonna show you the gear pieces I bought for this so you can copy it. And also this video is really good for new players and also players who want to try out the sword for the first time. It's just one divine and it is super fun to play. So let's talk about the gear. As you can see, I have 40k tooltip damage with my level 24 spark and I'm also resistance capped. I'm even overcapping. And this was actually my main goal. So my first thought was, okay, I wanted to get my resistance capped. And I also want to play with Grim Freeze to get a little bit more of EHP going. So I grabbed up this chest. And yes, the base is really important because it's the Cath base, which has mana regeneration on it. And I will talk about this when we go to the skill tree. I aimed for 40 spirits so I can even run Clarity with Grim Feast. And also I wanted to pick up resistance as much as I can. And overall, I think I paid like 10 or 20 exalted for just this chest. After the chest, I wanted to pick up the helmet the gloves, and the boots. And the main stat focus I was looking for was high mana, at least 2 resistance, and then high energy shield. So I looked around, I played with the trade page, and then I was able to find this helmet, I think for just 20 exalt. It was up for 30 and I asked for 20 and I got it for 20. And this was pretty nice by the person. And then I also picked up gloves with, low energy shield, but we have high mana and also 2 resistance on it, which are really, really good and also needed for the build. And then I picked up the boots. And first up, I was looking for 30% movement speed, but they are so expensive. I said to myself, okay, I have to go with 25 first. It's okay. And then they were pretty cheap and I got this for like 10 or 15 exalts. And by the way, the exchange from 1 divine to exalts was to this point 275 exalts. So I had this amount of exalts to spend on my gear because every single piece just costed some exalt and even some alchemy. I talk about that in just a bit. And then I picked up a belt as well. I aimed for high mana and at least 2 resistance. And I also looked up for 3 resistance, but they are so expensive. Then I found this and it was just perfect for the build. After I gathered all of the main gear pieces and I was just left with pure damage, because if we're gonna take off everything of my other gear now, you can see that I'm resistance capped with just those items. And this was pretty important to me. So I was free to look around for the best damage items that we can have. And I started with the Azure Amulet first. And this was the expensive piece on this whole gear because it's 50 exalt. And why is this 50 exalt? Because of the anointment. We have Echoing Thunder on it. And this is actually a pretty good damage amplifier for us, because when we shock recently, we gain 30% increased elemental damage. And if we press Alt, there's also a suffering involved to actually make this anoint. So it's a pretty high class, high-end anoint. And if you're not able to find one of these, I definitely can recommend you to maybe look up for this year or even for this year. This is also completely fine. I was also a bit lucky to get this Echoing Thundering anointment, but overall it's not needed, and you can also go with this and also this for the start of your journey. And then after I picked up the amulet, I was looking for rings. And for the rings, I mainly focused on high mana, cast speed, and lightning damage, and not even mana regeneration. And I'm gonna explain you why. Because we playing mana on kill on our jewels, and we have the space which give us 40%, 46% mana regeneration, which is pretty decent for just the start of your journey as a Stormweaver enjoyer. And you see, I'm really on a budget. Those have not even quality applied yet, because I was not able to buy quality. Everything you see on this character right now was bought with this just 1 divine. So please keep that in mind. After I picked up the first ring, I immediately picked up the second ring, and it also has lightning damage, mana, and cast speed on it. And I was lucky to get one with strength and one with dexterity, but it's not needed for the build at all. After that, I still have a good amount of exalt to spend, and then I looked up this focus, which has lightning damage, mana, and +2 to all spell skills on. And for the last gear piece, I bought this one, and it has a really good weighted sum spell and lightning damage. It has low mana, and it only has +4 lightning spell skills and just low increased cast speed. But it's so massive for the build, and if we just gonna turn it off, it's 20k damage loss currently. And that's for the gear pieces. And then I'm gonna talk about the skill tree, because I also made this work for a level 80 character. You see, I have 16 points left on my passive tree the whole time. So you see, I have 16 points left the whole time, and you can do the math. I'm currently level 96, and without those 16 points, my skill tree is set up for level 80. And what was the main goal for my skill tree? You see, we already playing with Eldritch Battery and Mine of a Matter and CI. This is pretty massive for the build, and only possible because we stacked so much mana previously over our gear and the resistance. And our journey just starts on the bottom left as usual. We pick up all of the spell damage, then the cast speed, and then also the increased maximum energy shield and intelligence. Then we're gonna path up here to grab up all of the elemental and lightning damage, and then we're gonna head up straight to the middle. Then from here we're gonna path left to the jewel, and for the jewels it's really easy. You want to have 2 or 3 jewels with 1% mana on kill and at least one other modifier that is good for you. In our case, spell damage, elemental damage, cast speed or increased maximum energy shield, and I stacked up those. You can see I was able to find even a 3-modded one, and those are only 10 exalt, and you can look them up and also buy them by yourself, and they are pretty decent. We have 2% cast speed, we have 14%. We have 2% cast speed, we have 14% spell damage, and also 13% increased maximum energy shield. And I stacked those all over the tree. And this is basically the main idea for the jewels, which give us a lot of damage as well. And from here also we path to the right side and gonna grab our lightning crick and for sure the chain, because you need chain to actually do more damage. And then yeah, we picked up the trident again, but only those nodes. And you think, okay, but you have so less mana regeneration, how you can even fight and do bossing and stuff like this? I'm a quite good player and I know how to spend my mana correctly and fight correctly. And this build is, yeah, damage optimized. For sure, you can just put out some nodes from the damage side over here and skill it for mana regeneration if it feels better for you. But in general, with all of the mana on kill we stacked and our decent amount of currently 388 mana regeneration, we are so good to go to clear every single breach, every single map without any mana problems at all. And bossing, yeah, you still have your mana flask, and then you just, yeah, walk around for 10 seconds, wait for your mana to refill, and then you're gonna fight him again. You saw the damage, it's there. You just have to play a bit smart. And I think this is achievable for every one of you. And from here, yeah, the skill tree is actually basic. We grabbed up all of the energy shield over here, and also the plus all to maximum elemental resistance. We grabbed up the pure power as well, and all of the lightning damage over here. We grabbed up the durations of our skills, because this is actually pretty important, so your spark will last longer on the screen, and so they have more chance to hit enemies. Also, we skilled the projectile speed over here, and for sure it's mandatory Wildstorm as usual. And yeah, for the left side, we grabbed up the jewel, we grabbed up the energy shield, and we grabbed up all of the elemental damage over here. And then you also can progress the build by skilling more energy shield over here, skilling more energy shield over here, getting the magnitude, and so on. You know it from other builds by myself. Oh, and I forgot about the ascendancy. Yes, I did this with just 2 ascendancy points. So 2 ascendancy points is actually what you can do. I was not able to buy a carry for 4 ascendancy points. This was only 2 ascendancy points, and you can do this by your own without investing anything. This is also important. Like I said, it's all done with just 1 divine, guys. And after that, let's jump over to the skills. So for skills, you see I only have a 4 link. This is only level 18, so I'm not capping, guys. This is actually working for level 80 character. And you see this spark requires level 78. And if you progress your spark level, you will gain so much more DPS. And for the support gems, I went for Arcane Tempo, Inspiration, Controlled Destruction, and Acceleration. And then I picked up Orb of Storms, and you see it's also only level 18. And I was only able to do a 3 link because I was not able to buy another greater Jeweler Orb to get it 4 link. And for the 3 link, I just play Font of Mana, Overcharge, and Conduction. And then I have a Flame Wall, which is also level 18 with Spell Cascade and Fortress. Then I have my Conductivity, and yes, I forgot to put in support gems, but please imagine there is High-Tended Curse and Curse Ground inside. And also there is no quality applied because I was not able to buy more GMPs because I ran out of currency. And then also I have an Archmage level 18. You see, it's all legit, and this is also pretty good and amplifies our damage also pretty well. And then I also picked up a Grim Feast, as I said, with the chest, with clarity as well. And then I also have Blink for my second weapon setup, so I can jump around even faster on the maps and clear it even faster. And yeah, this is actually it. And by the way, I was able to buy a lot of these gems for just a couple of alchemy orbs. So I was exchanging Exalted to alchemy, and then I looked up to the page and spam pinged, I think, like 30 or 50 people until someone invited me, and I got those stuff for just some of exalts, and it carried along because I was able to save up 5 or 6 exalts in this process, and this is actually 1 jewel I could buy more. And what is the conclusion about this video? You don't need a lot of currency to make a decent character. You actually just need the right techniques and the right knowledge to do a good character. And if you have this, you can also come up with something like this, with a one divine build who's actually able to progress to the game and will drop you divines so you can progress your character even further. And yeah, this is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If so, then please like and subscribe, and also comment below which challenge you think I should try next. I'm up for basically everything. So yeah, see you on the next one, guys. Bye.